Lord, let's go. So, welcome to November 14th, Transcend Investors reporting once again on our portfolio. One thing I want to point out is that our portfolio is producing a negative return. However, we are still producing value for the client. We're making money. We're trading. What we're currently trying to do is really pick out some probably some mid-sized companies who probably are less volatile to the market, and however will still trade at some really good prices. And but right now we still have a lot of winning companies inside our portfolio, such as American Airlines. They're still doing great, producing as much as 1.16% return on that stock, despite their delayed 737 return. They're continuing to do good as a company, and despite issues with labor. Part of their growth is contribute to growth and expansion in a hub that's in Dallas Fort Worth. It's an international airport. American Airlines is heavily invested in that initiative in what they call the DFW 900 project, which aims to increase the number of peak day departures, which could be profitable for American Airlines. What we're going to do is, continue as a group, to work together to continue to pick really good companies such as American Airlines that could really, produce value, and hopefully we could produce more, a minimum of 10%, hopefully a little bit more return for the investor. We want to take it over to our analyst, Devin, to talk more about what he's doing in his portion.
Okay, so perfect. The way that I want to help increase the portfolio value this week, I've decided to, after reviewing my companies that I have, I wanted to first sell Facebook Incorporation. Recently, it's been not going up or down. It's been pretty stagnant. So while today it's been up $3, I sold 25,513 shares at a price of $193.72. This was up $7 from the paid price of $186. So with this, we gained a profit of $186,000 roughly. This will of course help the portfolio grow and help us gain more money and help the percentages go up. The next company that I'm considering selling is Entergy Incorporation. Recently, this company or the stock has been pretty low. It was last week at $114, so $3 under what I paid for it, $170. Right now, it's pretty much breaking even. So I want to make sure that while it's above the paid price now, I want to make sure that I jump on that and sell it. The next company that I have is Google, which I sold last week, but repurchased it. It was doing very well. It went up almost $100, and now after repurchasing it, it's down right now. So I'll continue to watch it and make sure that I sell it when it's at a good price and it's up. And then after selling Facebook, I'm gonna do more research and buy a new company so that we can help increase the portfolio value.
Okay, my name is Josiah. I am the Florida List and Operations Oversight for Transcend Investors. So this week, the big news for the stocks that I invested in is that I've finally decided to drop Under Armour, which when we first bought it to that investment, it started off very good. We was making a bit of profit off of it, but as the week gone on, we realized the trend of it going down. I did try to give it a little bit of time to try to flip that, like UPS did, and turn it into profit. But it just kept going down, and we lost almost $700,000 in profit from it. So we decided to just give it the hammer today and and kick it out of the stocks that we had. In terms for the rest of the stocks that I invested in, Intuitive Surgical still doing really good. We're all making profit off of that, about $200,000. It did have a decrease this past weekend for 2.94, but I think that's the first decrease I've seen since I've had Intuitive Surgical, because it's just been going up. And then recent news for it, the 50-day moving average went up above the 200-day simple moving average, meaning that they went on a short rising price trend. And in the past 4 weeks, the stock moved up higher by about 3.7% and has its axe rank of number 2. For Terraform Power Inc., we already sold most of Terraform Power Inc.'s stock, but I realized we had a little bit left over, about 9,000 shares. And we were making profit off of it, so I decided to keep the shares and see how good it would do. But after a while, it dropped a little bit below, so I figured there was no point to keep the Terraform Power Inc. stock, so we decided to sell that as well. AutoNation had a slight increase off the past week, only a 0.07 increase, going from 51.77, or a decrease, sorry, from 51.77 to 51.70. UPS had a 0.81 increase this past weekend. Like I said, I was thinking about selling UPS as well, just like Under Armour, because we were losing about $300,000 in profit. But after hearing the news of them trying to hire up to about 100,000 people and employees, checked the profit, and it was up about $90,000 from when I last checked. So we're gonna hold on to UPS, make a little more profit off of that. And lastly, one of the newest company stocks that we invested in was Qualcomm, which we'll be taking a good look at, because last time I checked Qualcomm, it was about at first it was up, but it started going down. I think it was down about $90,000. So I'm gonna keep an eye on it. We might sell that soon. But in terms for all the stocks that I'm looking at right now, I might also decide to sell Yum China in the next week, because Yum China has also had decreases in profit for the past week. So yeah, that's the news for stocks I invested in this past week.
Hello, my name is Jamal Wiley. I'm the lead analyst for the investment team, Transcend Investors. I want to talk about a stock that we introduced to our investment portfolio this week, Tilray Incorporated. Around this time last year, experts said that marijuana was the hottest new investment trend on Wall Street. The reason being because marijuana was estimated to be the world's most rapid growing industry of the decade. Even though Wall Street predictions aren't always reliable, legal marijuana sales has projected to grow anywhere between $50 to $200 billion in annual revenue within the span of a decade. Tilray was given a $20 price mark, suggesting a 10% decline from last year, but we believe Tilray can, assemble together in the months to come. And we also foresee other hot stocks, stepping up to the plate, and we're going to look into introducing some of those to our portfolio possibly. So talking about Kraft Heinz, on Friday, they closed at $32.85, which marked an increase of 13 cents per share. That's good news for our portfolio. Something notable about Kraft Heinz is that they beat their low earning expectations for the third quarter. Kraft Heinz is tunneling its way out of the lowermost of the consumer staple tub.
Okay, so I'm basically just going to talk about the 2 trades I made throughout this week. Well, first of all, excuse me, my name is Carter Bird. I'm also an analyst in Transcend Investors. And one of the trades I ended up making this week was we ended up selling Majestic Silver Corporation, and we invested in 33,000 shares of Disney. The reason I felt like it would be important to do this was because Disney's shown a lot of potential with the launch of their new app, Disney Plus. So Disney Plus has, since its release, has signed up more customers in one day than many streaming services have signed up in the entirety of their existences. Disney Plus estimates that it'll have between 60 million and 90 million subscribers by 2024. Disney Plus signed up 10 million customers for its Disney Plus streaming services within the first day of its broad international launch, which the company said Wednesday. The company's shares closed up at more than 7% on the news. The move came on a solid volume 2, with far more shares changing in hands in a normal session. This breaks the recent trend of the company as the stock is now trading above the volatile price range of $129.48 to $138.58 in 1 month's time. Another trade that I made actually while we were recording this video is I sold all the shares of Apple and I decided to reinvest 33,000 shares into Microsoft. The reason I felt like it would be important to do this is because Microsoft is coming off a quarter that saw its sales rise up 14% year over year, and while its guidance may have been a bit overwhelming, the company saw strong growth across many major segments. Gaming, down by 7%, was the lone disappointment, but with 4 key segments seeing over 25% growth from the previous year, Microsoft has already showed the tools it needs to drive its sales even higher. In its most recent earning report, the company's sales rose by a modest 1.8% from a year ago, and while it did see growth in many segments. As far as now I'm addressing Apple. So Apple did see growth in many segments, but their iPhone sales, which is obviously one of the larger components of the company, their sales were down by 9%. So it wouldn't be surprising if Apple were to try to maybe present a cheaper version of the iPhone next year to help jumpstart their sales in 2020. But the problem with that is that at a lower price point, we believe that it'll take more volume to generate a significant amount of revenue. So you could honestly see some smaller profits for Apple as well. So I just saw those 2 things as problems, and ever since the death of Steve Jobs, I feel like Apple's kind of had a hard time recovering and making innovative products. So I saw Microsoft to be a safer investment, and those are kind of addressing the 2 trades I made this week.
Transcend investors, thank you.
Yeah, hope y'all cool with that.
That was good.
Yeah, I made